Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joins us at the Heritage Foundation Wednesday, February 6th to discuss constitutional foreign policy. And he joins us today in our studio to discuss this and other issues confronting Congress today. Senator, how do you think that foreign policy reflects what the Constitution and what the founders of our country had in mind?
Well, I think one of the big things the founders had in mind were checks and balances. You know, they divided up power. You know, this is a big idea they got from Montesquieu.
Right.
And it's come up recently in the gun issue because the president's trying to legislate through executive order, but it also comes up in foreign policy. Who has the power? Does the president have all the power? Does the legislature have the power? Or was it divided so we'd have checks and balances? And you know, Madison really strongly believed that the power to declare war should be in the legislature, and that the reason for that was he didn't want any overly eager executive or president to go to war without congressional authority.
Sure. How do you think that we can avoid conflicts and protracted commitments in the future?
Over the last 100 years or so, we've drifted towards more and more towards more power gravitating to the president. This is not only with war powers, but it's also with regulatory action as well. So you see this president, who ironically was a constitutional professor,
right,
actually usurping more and more power. You know, just recently he was slapped down by the court on these recess appointments. He had the arrogance to say, I determine when the Senate is in recess and I will appoint whoever I want whenever I want. Well, the court struck him down and said he can't do whatever he wants. And that's very important in a constitutional republic, that we obey the law, we obey the rules.
You voiced strong opposition to the Senate's recent filibuster. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, the whole idea of the Senate was that there would be more debate, more deliberation, more ability to stand up and speak for long periods of time. And some describe it as a place for the hot and heated debate of the House to settle and to slow things down. Some people get tired of it and they say, oh, that's gridlock, and gridlock's bad. But if you fear that as government gradually grows, that your freedom is gradually eroded, a slower process and more deliberate process is probably a good one.
Before coming to Congress, you practiced medicine for 17 years, and to this day you actually still provide eye care free of charge for those in Kentucky in need. Tell us why that's important to you.
Well, I do eye surgery, and the most common surgery I do is cataract surgery. And I like medicine. That's what I went to school to do. I trained for a long time for it, and I miss it. So one, I go back to do it. One, I stay in practice. And I like to, tell people that I'm unafraid to be unelected because I've got a real job someday to go
right,
back to. And I can only have that if I stay in practice. Plus, there's just a great feeling you get from being able to help these people who don't have any insurance to get some care and to get their vision back.
You're joining us again, as I said, on Wednesday, February 6th, and that happens to be former President Ronald Reagan's birthday. What lessons can we learn from Reagan that we can apply today?
Well, it's interesting because I'll quote from Reagan in the speech quite a bit. Reagan believed in a preponderance of strength, that strength deterred war. You know, the interesting thing about Reagan is the more you know about him, the liberals and the left tried to paint him as some sort of warmonger, but he was actually someone who very much believed in peace and did not want war. But I think he did believe in a strong America to prevent war, and I think that's been the conservative position. He was great at representing that.